So once a year, an event happens that is just so reality-bendingly funny that it could have only been spawned from the unintentional comedy of feminists doing gender studies degrees. Now, the life-threatening belly laugh comes at the end of this video, so I'm just going to get you warmed up with some of the mere laugh-out-loud, unintentional humour. So our joke starts with the Huffington Post and this great tweet from its executive editor. Notice anything about the Huffington Post editors meeting? Girl, power, power. Naturally, it was hilarious how this tweet got absolutely raped by the permanently triggered, who were just outraged about how white everyone was. And sure, the all-black women's editor team was so quick to point out how less sexist and racist it was to have all-black women editors rather than all white women editors.
We want to end gender inequality. And to do this, we need everyone involved.
Then, of course, you just go through some comical statistics, like men and women should be treated equally.
For the record, feminism, by definition, is the belief that men and women should have equal rights and opportunities. It is the theory of the political, economic, and social equality of the sexes.
So the chances of the Huffington Post not being sexist in their choice of editors is about 1 in 14,000. Yay, go equality, because feminism's all about equality. And of course, there were others who were just lols farming this for the win. Like for instance, the Huffington Post parking lot. Or for those who can see what all the supermarket aisles near the Huffington Post look like. Or what the Huffington Post editorial board will look like in, I don't know, say 5 years' time. But cheap laughs aside, yeah, let me just tell you that that's the same Huffington Post that made a video chastising white feminism.
You might have heard the term white feminism used lately.
Basically, white feminism is feminism that ignores intersectionality.
So not all feminists who are white feminists.
But most white feminists are white, because white people just don't have to think about things like race on a daily basis.
Oh, you can taste the irony. Yeah, that's Emma Gray with her degree in sociology, sexual diversity studies, and political science, and Zeba Bay with her degree in cultural criticism, chastising everyone else for being privileged. And just so you know, that's the exact same new school that just gave Anita Sarkeesian an honorary degree. Well, what do you know? Small world. A small and rather nepotistic world. But anyway, honestly, if you've got the cash to blow on a do-nothing, worthless degree like cultural criticism, it doesn't matter how black your skin is. You've just waived the right to call anyone else privileged. But just so you know, this was their great research to show how hard minorities have it.
White feminism aims to close the wage gap between men and women. But what it fails to recognize is that most of the time, Latina and black women make even less than white women.
And the great examples they chose were George Clooney, net worth 180 million, Julia Roberts, net worth 140 million, Salma Hayek, net worth 80 million, and Beyonce, net worth 450 million. Yeah, a black woman can be so oppressed these days that they're completely prohibited from being worth more than a white man, white woman, and Latina woman doing the same work combined. And honestly, Salma Hayek, with her mere 80 million net worth, is beyond the dreams of most of us oppressing white males. And yeah, I also noticed that you forgot to include Asians in your little infographic, because it completely ruins your narrative about whites and males oppressing everyone.
White feminism aims to close the wage gap between men and women. But what it fails to recognize is that most of the time, Latina and black women make even less than white women.
Because whites only get paid about 80 cents on the dollar for an Asian. Yeah, that's a pay gap that no one has any interest in closing. Odd that, isn't it? However, coming back to our diversity meeting, actually it's one of those interesting ones. If you take a look at degrees by gender, reporting, media is one of those female-heavy subjects with almost 2 women doing it for every man. I know, gender equality is only sexist oppression when it's a male-heavy subject, and then the only reason that it can be a male-heavy subject is because of the patriarchy. But one of the funniest things here is when you just look at what this Huffington Post female leadership has done for the company. I mean, I'm no expert in this media thing, but maybe, just maybe, this is happening because your paper keeps running these great articles on things about how women are finally no longer oppressed because they are equally represented by emojis. Those silly little face things. Because I'm sure now that women have these emojis, you'll get women working in many of the more dangerous things that men normally do. Such that they now know 10 years' time, 90% of the work-related fatalities won't be men. And of course, it goes without saying that if you check out this editorial fellow from the Huffington Post's Twitter account, what do you find? Oh, masculinity, it's so fragile. Yeah, and you're the woman writing the Emojis article. Yay, emojis! Now that's the sort of thing I would expect from a paper whose average age of their editor seems to be less than 25. I mean, hell, some of these don't look like they've even made it to 20 yet. And yeah, I wasn't the only one to notice, as this guy says. What I notice is that nobody there is more than 3 years out of college. Ignorant, but cheap as dirt to hire. And yeah, with life experience like that, you're certainly qualified to be an editor at the Huffington Post. But anyway, like I was saying, these are just the little things. I mean, it takes a dumb person to be all about equality and then tweet a picture where almost everyone in your meeting is a white woman. It takes another level of cluelessness altogether. A level of cluelessness that's almost off the spectrum to run an article saying that women are systematically oppressed in media on the Huffington Post. An article which is supported by the best feminist research out there, and its conclusion is, bottom line, men dominate media when your own editorial board looks like this. And you wonder why feminism has an image problem.